No one is kidding when they tell you that you can have life-altering outcomes just by affirming that you've already experienced it. I've done this myself time and time again. This house that I'm in right now is perfect for my family and me, and it was done by just affirming that I had it. I've manifested 10K months in my business just by affirming that I've done it. I manifested my person back after she said that we were incompatible just by affirming that she was back and she thought we were compatible, which was one of the first things that she said when we reconciled. So I know for a fact that you can manifest amazing experiences just by affirming, and I've helped other people do the same. And in this video, I want to explain how and why and what you need to do so that you can experience it too. So without further ado, let's just dive right in because this is so impactful. First and foremost, what is an affirmation? Well, there's a few different definitions that it could go by depending on context. But for the purposes of what we are doing here today, a definition as provided by Google is a positive assertion, declaration, or confirmation that something is true. Now, why do we make use of affirmations to create our life? Your subconscious mind is the creative power of your experiences. What your subconscious mind holds as your true experience is what will continue to replicate in your life. It will continue to push it out. You will continue to experience those things. So an affirmation, a positive, I'll just stick with confirmation, a positive confirmation of something that is true, by affirming, you are stating to your subconscious mind, X thing I am affirming is simply true. Now, why does that work? Your subconscious mind, despite being so incredibly powerful, creating your reality, only actually goes off of what you feed it and what you allow it to be fed. So when you make a positive confirmation of something that is true, your subconscious mind has no idea whether that thing is true or not in physical reality. It just goes, cool, they are stating this thing to be true, therefore it must be true, therefore it creates it. So what is an affirmation for the purposes that I could use as an example? We'll go with a specific person because that's what most of you are manifesting. An affirmation could be, I am in a relationship with and name. So for me, I'm in a relationship with Katie. For you, it could be, I'm in a relationship with Deborah or Mike. Obviously, it doesn't matter the name, whoever you're interested in. This is an affirmation because it is a positive, you're in a relationship, confirmation of something that is true. Now, in physical 3D reality, it may not exactly be true yet, but your subconscious mind does not know that. So by affirming, I am in a relationship with person, you're feeding that story to your subconscious mind, and with enough consistency and repetition, so much so that it becomes the dominant story regarding you and that person that your subconscious mind holds, it then takes it, churns it up, pushes it out in your reality for you to experience. So this right here is just like an explanation of what an affirmation is and an example of how you could use it in manifestation. But here we have a little bit of a description as to why it is life-changing to loop affirmations. Now, one additional thing that I forgot to mention, your consciousness is ultimately what feeds the subconscious mind, the stories, and that's what it pushes out. Affirmations are a way of entering a new state of consciousness. So if, for example, you were thinking I'm single and then you decide to affirm I'm in a relationship with Deborah, in that moment you have taken yourself out of the consciousness of being single and placing yourself in the consciousness of being with Deborah, thus impressing your subconscious mind with that story. But ultimately, anything that takes consciousness, visuals, thoughts, affirmations, whatever, can impress the subconscious mind. I've gone with affirmations because I think that they're the most versatile of the techniques that you can use to be conscious with what you're feeding consciousness. But let's say here we've got this guy, Gary. Gary has this thought pattern of, Oh, woe is me. Things are crap. My job sucks. My wife left me. The kids don't listen. The Chelsea are a shit football team. Doesn't matter what it is. He's just got a really pessimistic attitude, really down in the dumps. Maybe some things are justified, maybe some things not so much. But ultimately, he is stuck in this feedback loop where he's got this oh woe is me attitude. So he's feeding consciousness, my life sucks, basically, through various different thoughts, such as the ones I just gave as an example. And then his subconscious mind goes, okay, life sucks. So he feeds the thought. It goes, okay, life sucks, creates life sucking down here. And then he sees that and goes, oh, see, told you. You know, once it rains, it pours. Oh, woe is me. Of course that would happen to me. Just my luck. Thus, telling his subconscious mind, hey, look, see how bad everything is? This thing's just happened. And then his subconscious mind goes, oh, we got bad life. Creates more bad life. And he goes, see, told you. And he's stuck in this complete cycle. Now, they may be just general thoughts and not affirmations, but affirmations are spoken thoughts. They're just a way of guiding your thoughts in a particular manner. So what he's doing is he is reaffirming a positive, I suppose in this case, negative, a negative confirmation of something that's true. Oh, woe is me. Life sucks. He is negatively asserting, declaring, confirming that this thing is true, that his life sucks. So his subconscious mind goes, all right, life sucks, pushes it out more. And he's going, thought sucks, experience suck, thought sucks, experience suck, thought sucks, experience suck. And he's just going in this loop over and over and over and over and over again. Now, this could be for anything. It could be, why is it all the men I want don't want me? Why is it women only seem to want guys 6 foot and above? Why is it once I start falling in love, they disappear? Why is it that when I say that I play League of Legends, they run for the hills? Anything that you are thinking that is going against you is, unfortunately, a negative statement of something that is true. A negative assertion, declaration, and confirmation, whatever you want to put there. So, when we start affirming and looping our affirmations, we decide an outcome we want to experience, say relationship with Deborah. We decide from now, I am going to consciously affirm a new statement. And what happens? Let's say that this feedback loop is, I'm single and I want Deborah, but because you've been saying I'm single and I want them, your reality keeps them at bay. And then you go, see, told you she's not coming. Thought continues, and so on and so forth. If we say, about halfway through here, you go, you know what? I'm in a loving relationship with Deborah. And you choose to return to that thought, that affirmation, and you loop it to yourself, you are feeding your subconscious mind a new story. You are feeding it new information. You have broken this feedback loop and therefore gone to your subconscious mind, Deborah and I are together in various forms. Doesn't matter, but just for the example of this purposes, we are together. And with consistency in doing that and utilizing affirmations as a way of guiding your mind back to the desired outcome, you've broken this oh woe is me regarding being single and not having Deborah, and created, this one says heck yeah, you've now created a positive feedback loop. You're affirming it, your subconscious mind creates it. Because you've seen it, you reaffirm, because it's now a positive statement of something that is true, that she is yours, thus keeps recreating. And the only way you screw up this cycle is if you do what many of us did, which is why we're here in this field. We go, they're just going to leave anyway. And then you start panicking, having those negative thoughts, reaffirming that they're going to leave, and then they leave. But ultimately, the benefit of affirmations and the reason why they will change the outcome of your life, the trajectory of your life, and the things that you are experiencing is because you're only experiencing them because you're stuck in this feedback loop of whatever you're experiencing. I'm poor, you get proof of being poor, so therefore you go, oh, I'm poor, you get more proof. I'm not attractive, then you have like people calling you unattractive, and it goes, oh, see, I told you I'm not attractive. You have these things, and your subconscious mind creates them. By affirming, you break that cycle of saying I'm poor and go, I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm rich. And you're feeding this information to your subconscious mind. For purposes of a gym analogy, each affirmation is like a rep. You're doing a rep, you're doing a rep, you're doing a rep, you're doing a rep, and you're just building that mental muscle around being rich, around being in a relationship, around being insert whatever it is that you are affirming for. And that feeds the subconscious mind the story of that outcome, thus making it play out, thus becoming your new feedback loop. And you go from being the oh, woe is me, heartbroken person with no money and constantly sad, to the heck yeah person, happy, happily married, money in the bank. Just simply by affirming, because your reality is created by consciousness. And if you're feeding consciousness a new story through affirmations, of course, any technique works, but I do recommend affirmations just because they are so versatile. If you're feeding consciousness a new story through affirmations, you'll get new experiences. But then you may be sitting there wondering, okay, well, I do affirmations. Why is it not working? Well, like I said, affirmations are a way of guiding into consciousness. But consciousness is your state of being, essentially. So if you're allowing just general thoughts, panics, fears, anxieties, all of that kind of stuff, if you're allowing that, I've kind of done that the wrong way. Hang on. If you're allowing these things to be of a greater quantity than your affirmations, then, like giving the example of reps, these affirmations, you could have done 100 affirmations, 100 reps, and these equate to 100 donuts that you've crammed in your face, and therefore you're just filling up on sugar, bloating, and not really having the muscle, no protein in, and the muscle's not built in. Hopefully the analogy makes sense. So this is why the looping of affirmations is necessary, because if it was just the fact that you had made a statement a singular time, and it doesn't matter how many opposing thoughts that you had or whatever, we'd all have things like that. But unfortunately, / fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, it is consciousness that creates, and affirmations are a way of guiding consciousness. But these things are also forms of consciousness as well. So what I urge for you, if you want your affirmations to be successful, is to utilize affirmations to feed your subconscious mind the right story, but then also utilize methods such as breath work, EFT tapping, and so on to keep these negative things to a minimum. Because if you don't have opposing stories, one affirmation is enough. You've probably sat there and thought of someone and then they've called you like 10 minutes later. That's just a thought. Affirmations are just spoken thoughts. So if you had affirmed it, it would have done the same thing. But it's because you don't have opposing stories regarding people that you know randomly calling you or finding a penny on the floor and so on, that they happen so easily. With your bigger desires that have a greater resistance, anxiety, and so on and so forth, it needs a bit more affirming to outwork it. So what I recommend for you, and this is the analogy that I love, if you guys have been on this channel long enough, you'll know, you've got your positive and you've got your negative. Each affirmation that you do adds weight to this positive. Each of the other things that I listed adds weight to this negative. So what we want to do is we want to ensure that we are affirming enough to make that positive story strong, but we also want to make sure that we are regulating / sort of overcoming the negative so that the negative story isn't strong as well, thus making it so that your affirming can manifest easy because there's not much negative going on. Now, there is obviously a couple of ways you can do this. You can just smash out affirming as much as you possibly can, affirm all day, every day. I'm not going to say it doesn't work. It's not what I typically recommend, but it's worked for people and it's worked for me for time. So if you don't want to deal with your anxieties and stuff and you just want to go balls to the wall of affirming, bingo, have fun, loop affirmations until your heart's content. If you want a more enjoyable perspective, what I recommend is in the morning and night, 5 to 10 minutes of some focused affirming, starting your day right, ending your day right, looping those affirmations, breaking that feedback loop before it's even had a chance in the day to start. And as you're going to bed, kind of ending the day with a broken feedback loop. Then go through your day. If you notice negative coming up, take some deep breaths, regulate so that your nervous system is kind of under control, and then right back to affirming until you feel satisfied. Because if you do this, what you'll be doing is catching that negative thought, deep breathing, disassociating with it, and then doing your affirmative reps, helping to keep that story of the positive high and the story of the negative low. And if you can do that rinse and repeat, feel good in the moment after I've done 20 affirmations, and then get on with your day and do it again when necessary, you'll succeed. You cannot not succeed, because it is purely your dominant state that is the necessary component. So if you're finding that you have been affirming but not succeeding, you've either not been affirming enough, or you've been affirming enough and your nervous system is just absolutely fried. You're too much in the negative, dwelling on things too much, and yada, yada, yada. So to reiterate, to sort of give you like a simplified overview, summary, I suppose you could say, your subconscious mind, I just put this is your brain, don't judge my drawing skills. Your subconscious mind only goes off of what you say is true. It creates that. The reason why life seems so linear and consistent is because averagely people have the same thoughts each day, and therefore they're just impressing the same stories. And then when they look at stuff going wrong in their 3D or going right in their 3D, they say, hey, look at that thing, continuing to make the positive assertion of something being true. But ultimately, it's because of your truth that it continues to play out, not because it is the truth. So what we do, let's say we've got a negative feedback loop going on. We don't like it. We're single, we're broke, we're heartbroken, whatever. We then come in and we affirm something more desirable. Could be anything. I recommend being the end result focused, of course. But if it's money you're struggling with, I am richer than I've ever been before. Each month I make more money than the last. I'm safe and secure financially. I have £10,000 in my bank account. I earn £10,000 per month. If it's a relationship, I feel safe and secure in my relationship with Deborah. I'm in a loving, committed relationship with Deborah. I'm more than good enough to be in a relationship with Deborah. Things like that. You bring these affirmative statements in to cut the ties in your subconscious mind between what it has impressed and what you want to be. Sorry, that's wrong. You cut the ties between what you're experiencing and what you're feeding the subconscious mind. So you stop feeding it the, oh, woe is me. And now you're feeding it whatever that new affirmation is, taking that feedback loop and taking it a new direction, which is going to turn into a new feedback loop with consistency. And to do this effectively, what you want to do is start your day with 5 to 10 minutes of affirmations, end your day with 5 to 10 minutes of affirmations. And then as you go through your day, live life to the best of your ability, enjoy what comes. If your desire comes to mind in any capacity, if it's good, let it play out. Consciousness is what creates. So if it's good thoughts, good feelings, good inner conversations, that's still good consciousness. Let it play out. If it's undesired, catch it, take some deep breaths, reaffirm over it. Calm your nervous system down, calm yourself down, reaffirm over to remove the association with the old story in your subconscious mind and to create the association with the new story in your subconscious mind. And that is exactly what I did for those things that I gave you examples for in the beginning. For manifesting 10K months, I was affirming things like I earn £10,000 per month. Each month I earn more money than the last. I have so many new and returning coaching clients graciously paying me for my products and services. For this house, I literally just affirmed I live in a perfect house for my family and me. Everything about my house is exactly as I want it, and things like that. For Katie, I was just affirming things like we are perfectly compatible. I remember when Katie said we weren't compatible, but now we are. Katie and I are in a loving, committed relationship, and so on. And each of those things and many more examples have happened. And believe it or not, none of those things required any action from me. None at all. The only thing that you could say potentially is when the 10K months first started, I had just introduced a new service, but I was still earning 10K months after I'd introduced it because it was consciousness. As for the house, the people wanted to do a house swap with us. They approached us. As for Katie and I getting back together, she was the one that called me to reconcile. For those 3 examples that I've given you, I did bugger all. I genuinely did nothing physical in the 3D reality. I just affirmed, and my subconscious mind took it in and was like, cool, here we go. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly how looping affirmations will change your life. Now, if you would like a much more in-depth way to utilize this for yourself, overcoming the general examples and actually having some tailored advice to you, I do have an Elite Academy available for Elite members. In the Academy, you can get one-to-one work with me. You can get all of my courses. You can get the Elite Manifestor program, which is a questionnaire followed by links and such to videos and resources to help you improve your manifesting capabilities. You can get all of my exclusive videos, such as Katie talking about what it was like being manifested from her own perspective, the deep dive on free will, the deep dive on how the subconscious mind actually creates your reality, and more. A private Telegram group with the other elite like-minded individuals, and more. So if you are genuinely serious about getting your person, getting your money, getting the confidence and such that you want, the Elite Academy is the best place for you now. And the great thing about it is it's lifetime opportunity or monthly. So if you want to join for life and never be asked for another penny again once the payment is up, but get everything that I ever release, that's available. If you just want to dip your toe in, try it out for a month and see if it's for you, that's also available for you as well. So if you know what's good for you, and if you are genuinely serious about actually creating the life of your dreams, check out the Academy, or we can work together one-to-one. Both linked down below. But thank you very much for your time. Drop me a like and a comment if you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to click that bell icon. And I'll catch you lovely people in the next one. Bye-bye.